Thank you, Creator. Thank you, Creator. Thank you for another opportunity to try to do better than I did last week on my videos. You taught me a lesson, and I give thanks for it. Thank you, Creator, for this opportunity to try to be a light while I'm in this reality, to try to be about your business. How you doing, Namahalia? Good to see you, sis. Thank you, Creator, for this opportunity to try to do the best I can while I'm in this reality. And that means to me, like you say in your word, to prepare for our eternity, to prepare to be born again, to prepare ourselves to be born again. You say that all things are born in the darkness, and we live in a world right now where the planet, although there's light, sunlight, and there's an AG that's falling on the planet, and the density is getting darker and darker, and it's borne out. It's proved by the fact that we're in a situation where even as I speak, the relations between the different countries and places on the earth are it's not good. And it seems like every day things get worse and worse. Creator, you told us that when men's spiritual grade gets lower and lower, you bring times of Gia and AG as a way to warn man and to get him to realize what he is doing. And it doesn't seem to be working. It doesn't seem to be the world as a whole does not seem to be able to get the message and to try to learn to be at peace with one another and to share the earth. Creator, it seems like the spiritual grade has become less and less, and your word is pretty clear that all who are born onto the earth, even though that they are your children, that not many will take the opportunity to seek your face, learn your light, and be about your will. It seems like there are only a few brethren who realize that our reality is an opportunity to prepare for our eternity. And it's a very bittersweet thing to see the majority of the world of people either are under deception or just under apathy concerning the light that you are bringing in this day and age. The deception is very great. And I just hope that you use this channel and give me the ability to use this channel as a great light and try to minister to brethren who are like-minded, such as myself, that want to love your light, want to love your word. It resonates with them. It explains it is the only thing that's able to fill the gaps in our hearts and to answer the questions that we want to know. And That's really the key to life itself, is being able to tap into your true self and your true spirituality. So, Creator, I give thanks for that you've given me and my brethren your word. It resonates with us, but we realize we're only a few. And so bless my video and give me the wisdom, the knowledge, in order to have a video that will be a light, will be a blessing to all who see it. And brethren, thank you for joining me again. My name is Jehovih Israel. Welcome to my channel. And this is a channel where we are brethren who subscribe to the OAHSPE Bible, the OAHSPE Bible. It's not a channel for everybody. I'm not trying to reach everybody. I'm not trying to proselytize this word. This is a channel where it is, I consider myself a servant. I want to be a servant. I don't want to I don't want to blow my own horn. I don't want to try to become famous. I don't want to try to become rich. I just realized that for some reason I believe in the Creator, and I've been that way all my life, and I've always believed that if I just kept that desire to believe in the Creator, that He had to find me. He had to find me. Even when I didn't know anything, I was in great ignorance. I was deceived. If men can look upon a brother, and they can have mercy on him, have pity on him, and empathize with him, that I know you certainly can. I know the Creator certainly can do that. So I knew that was the one thing I knew. And so the Creator, helped me to retain that in my heart. Just be sincere, just be truthful, just keep your mind open, and the Creator, just like that old saying, when the teacher is ready, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. When the student is ready, man, the teacher appears. And from what I have learned, when you get beaten up enough in this reality, when you get a good handle, I would think when you get a good handle on the Satan within you, enough to where you can keep your mind focused on trying to learn about the spiritual, trying to learn about the light, trying to learn about the esoteric nature of the Creator. If you can just do that a little bit, day by day, at some point, the Creator's going to find you. He's going to find you, man. And then it's going to resonate with you, even though you've been deceived before. You've been up and down and around the block like me. When I decided that I was going to look for the Creator, I decided that I wasn't going to do things like get married or have a family. And when I first started having relations and dating and stuff like that, I quickly found out I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this, man, without finding the Creator first. I didn't refer to Him like that, but I told myself, there ain't no way I'm going to get myself in a family situation. And until I find the Creator, until I find Him. And so that meant that I had to wait until in my late 40s, really, before I hit my stride. And I began to get answers, and I had to go through some cults and Christianity. But the position that I'm in right now, I wish I could share it with everybody. I mean, just to be content, to know what's in your heart, to know who you are, to know the truth of the light, to know what world that you're living in, and the people who are around you, and the plan of the Creator, and the purpose of the earth, and what's after this, and what's after, what awaits us when we're finished during our time in this reality. And for some reason, I was thinking a lot about how the Creator, or some brother mentioned something about how all things are born in darkness. And that's true. That's true. And the earth is it's a place of darkness right now. It may look like, sunlight, blue skies, and all, we can see color and everything, but spiritually, this is a place of darkness. It is a place of darkness, and I see that's how the kingdom is being born. Because, well, the Creator, He simply said that it's like a law. All things are born in darkness, or created, or grow, or whatever, however He put it, you know. So, like I said, last week was a disaster for me, the way I conducted my videos, my channel, and I'm certainly making changes so far as who I allow to get on the mic. And brethren whom I know are still going to have carte blanche, and meaning all they got to do is just come on the channel, and I'm certainly going to not restrict them any kind of way. But so far as just brother or sister coming along, I'm a faithist, and just automatically just opening up the microphone and everything to them, those days are over with. Because I believe the Creator taught me a lesson. Like, sometimes, you know, the word, this message, it is really the most important thing. And I'm sure there are well-meaning brothers and sisters who can disrupt that. And I wouldn't doubt that, you know, I mean, I don't know how to, I don't want to be cruel, but I think that there are spiritual forces that want to keep something like, you know, this message from getting out. I do believe that. And it may look like, you know, innocent and, you know, unassuming, but then at the end of the day, you see that you didn't accomplish what you set out to do. So I think that I think that the Creator has shown me that there's a fair amount of discipline that you got to exercise. You're going to have a little channel like this. You're going to decide to try to share the light with brethren. You got to have a little bit of, you know, this ain't just, I have to really, you know, I got to really hand it to the Creator, man. If you're going to serve the Creator, you don't just willy-nilly do it. It requires some discipline, you know, it requires, you know, I consider myself fortunate because you know, the way the structure of the world is set up, that say like the educational system, I used to be really jealous of students I went to high school with, and they were going to college prep classes. They were in their element. Man. They got good grades, you know, it seemed like they did it effortlessly. You know that these were the people going home doing their homework while you were outside playing. And then when it came time to graduate up out of there, you know, their whole future was ahead of them because they were in their element. They didn't mind the subject matter, or maybe they did, but they were smart people. They were gifted. They had a gift of comprehension. Not everybody's on the same level. So when you can hit your stride, brother, you're home free. So I'm a brother who's hit my stride. It took me to my middle 40s to hit it. But man, when I hit it, the Creator, I mean, it's probably the same for you, brethren, too. You know, you got to take some blows when you decide to get serious about spirituality. And basically all that means is you're going to decide to be about the Creator's will, which basically going to point you to your brethren. Because people need help. They can use encouragement. They can use one thing that as you get older that I want to share with brethren. You need people. Where I live, a bunch of broke down veterans, and it's a really nice place, but it's really quiet, and most of these people don't have nobody. They have family don't come around. I mean, it's mainly the guys, you know, have children, never see their children come. You never see them on the phone. And a lot of these guys, and the women here too, I would say, when you're in a situation like this and you're in the sunset of your reality, and we live in a place, I would say, is it's just too quiet, no life around here. You begin to appreciate the little things, the little daily conversations with people. And you begin to, at first, for me, when I moved into the place I moved into, I just thought I hit the jackpot. But after a while, you realize you need people around to, look, converse with them, talk to them, and, you know, and the other day, last weekend, you know, I got so, what's a good word they use in the world for strung out? You know, I can't think of one. I got so strung out. It was a Friday night, and I went for a drive, and had a nice drive. Went to the beach, hung out there, had a great time. They closed at about 2 in the morning, so I went to the poorest part of town. I went to the poorest part of town in San Francisco, a place called the Tenderloin. I talk about it a lot. They closed the beach. It was like 2 in the morning. I said, now what am I going to do now? I'm not finished yet. I don't really want to go back home. And so I said, I'm going to go down. I'm going to go to the Tenderloin. So I hung out there because I needed to be around life, people, just to see them move, just to see the, activity, to see activity, and we need people. I mean, you may separate for a little while, but at some point, it seemed like you're going to learn to appreciate if you can have people around you and you can talk a little bit with them. And maybe, the bonus is if they're like-minded, they believe the way you do, they're spiritual, or that's a real bonus right there. So my bottom line is that the Creator is really, and it's probably true for a lot of brethren, is made us able and we got an opportunity to try to be about trying to minister to brethren, to be ready for whenever the opportunity presents itself. To, you brethren, you got words you can say. Somebody start talking about God, they show a little seriousness, a little sincerity, and a faith that has answers that nobody else in the world has. It's a real privilege if the world runs into a faithist. They may literally save your life, save your spiritual life. Now, what I'm going to read today is going to be a little rough, and I'm going to certainly read it. I ain't going to let myself get distracted like I did last week. I swung and I missed a couple of times last week, but I believe I learned a lesson. And so I have a new way of dealing with the video, with the channel. And if I know brethren and I value their input, then it's certainly always open for them. But trying to be all things to all people is not going to work for me. It's not going to work. So again, brethren, thank you for joining me, my channel, where I just try to, the OAHSPE. I think I even shared it, posted it in a room where, now here's my mom's food ministry. That's where I can be contacted if a brother or sister knows of a situation where, maybe an orphan is involved and maybe an elderly or disabled is involved and they could use some type of charity. I am certainly volunteering my resources and wherewithal to help out. I certainly will do my level best to help wherever I can. Here's my contact information. Here's the room that I have on Facebook where I just try to share. I try to find things I love to, I was talking about hit your stride. And I've never studied like I do now. And it's no thing. I just can't even do without it, man. Can't believe what the Creator can do with you. What he can do with you, what he can put in your heart, man, make you glad. What it's just the most amazing thing. I'm sorry, but I love to brag about how he can make you happy, man. He can just do it with words, So anyway, just some things. I'm gonna see if I can find that verse where Creator, he says, don't. It's almost like he's really telling brethren, don't even tell anybody about this word. It's got that type of flavor on it. Creator's like, don't proselytize, don't go chasing people down and give them this word. Let them find it. If they want it, then let them go within themselves and seek to find it, and they'll find me. So like I always like to do, I just share some verses. Now here are the other rooms too, I forgot to mention, where you can come in and have fellowship. Here's another room, the Cosmin teaching room. Now I got the links in the description area. And then here go another one. College, university. Same, and I know I posted something in the room where it said the Creator, he said that year after year, more and more faith is going to come in. Let me go back to my room, share some of the, and Brother Omian did a good, man, Brother Omian, he comes in from time to time. He did a video about difference between Muslim. Matter of fact, I know I got it here in the room. Let me go to that real quick. Here it is right here. You probably get a chance, man. You ought to check this one out. Real nice video telling you about how the God of King David was Baal. And he proved it so conclusively, it just makes you shake your head like, man, I was so deceived. I was so deceived, man. King David, the God of King David was Baal. Baal, man, he mentioned a couple of points in the video. Just rock solid points, man. How jehovih in no ways at all, man, allows for murdering and killing those whom he made alive. He pointed out how King David, he slaughtered. There's even a verse where, in the Bible where it says that King David has slaughtered his thousands or something like that. Let's see if we can find it. Saul has slaughtered his thousands, but King David his 10,000s, King James Version. And so once you come into contact with the OAHSPE, and then you recall passages like these, that sinks the whole Bible. Really, it's not going to do it. People need more information. But it just sinks the whole narrative of the scriptures right there, at least in the eyes of the faithists. Well, speaking only for myself, look at here. Y'all know how King David was a great warrior in the Bible. And they were lauding him after a victory, I think, and the women were singing, and they played and said, Saul has slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s. And then right off the bat, they let you know that that's not the Creator. That's not the Creator. That one point right there. And then the brother Omi, and he made another great point. Talked about how David, he took another man's wife. You don't even need to read the OAHSPE to know that that's not the Creator. You don't even, and it left me thinking, you know what? I never thought about these things. about King David. And then when you go to like Luke in the New Testament and they go and they show the lineage of Jesus Christ, David is in the lineage of Jesus Christ. And so what it does is it just confirms even more. It confirmed even more, exposing Jesus Christ of the New Testament. But overall, it was that video was so powerful, man. And, brother, if you listening, man, that was a great video, man. It really blessed my soul. But it make you also think about the situation, the deception that's in the world. It's a double-edged sword, because for the faithless, you can let your faith down. Just kind of like it ain't nothing. Something you believe in, but it ain't really no thing. And I'm telling you, man, what I'm going to be reading, it's like the Creator is saying, "Oh, yes, it is something." What you believe, it certainly is. It certainly is something. It certainly is. So let me go back up and then look at some verses, and then when it comes time, I'm gonna do the reading. Now, something that I posted just a little while ago. It says, wider and wider apart, these two people separated. And it's talking about the only two people on the earth. You got the Uzians and you got the Vedas. That's who the Creator says are the only two people on the face of the earth. The Uzians and the Vedas. Uzians and the Vedas, man. I think the thing that really I can't get out of my mind is the minority that the faithists are in comparison to the world that we live in. Creator here, he says, but the disbelievers, he says, and the believers, the faithists, having faith in Jehovah, practice righteousness, rising higher and higher in wisdom and purity. See, a separation. It says, but the disbelievers went down into darkness and were scattered and lost from the face of the earth. Now, when I went down there to the Tenderloin this past weekend, I went down, man, because I wanted to be around some activity, but it's very, very heart-wrenching. It's like you can't believe that people really, people are really, they live in the situation they do. I mean, just no hope, man. Just darkness. On drugs, bent over. Somebody stopped right in front of my minivan and took a dump right out in front of, I mean, mankind at its lowest, man, at its lowest. You can't believe what you're looking at. People who look like aliens, they look like zombies. They so tore up, man, from always being out in the elements, laying on the ground, covered with dirt, rags for clothes, carrying their blankets, carrying their tents. It's the lowest that a man can go, man. And it made me, I'll be honest, man, it made me thankful. It make you thankful. It hurt you too, though, because you can't help but feeling sorry for brethren. I mean, it's very hurtful, man. It's very hurtful to see people live like that. And I just found myself thinking, man, Creator, I'm pulling for you. I'm really pulling for you to to deliver these people, man, because this ain't living. When you live like that, you got you live on the street, man, and you just degrade until you're no different than an animal. Which also I thought was interesting, man. A lot of the people I saw, they had dogs. You know, dogs, pets. No place to go to themselves, but they had pets. I'm sure. The Creator, he said, and the believers having faith in Jehovah practice righteousness, rising higher and higher in wisdom and purity, but the disbelievers went down in darkness, were scattered and lost from the face of the earth. Hey, Fritz, thanks for joining me, brother. Thanks for joining me. So you read verses like this, and it's really true, man. I mean, I'm in my 60s, and I'm sounding like I'm new to, I was born yesterday. I mean, talking about people and the situation with people who are down and out. I mean, I'm sure most of you, brother, but it's like you still can't believe it no matter how many times you see it. Creator, he says, but disbelievers, they go down in darkness and scattered and lost from the face of the earth, man. Hi, Jamia. All right, good to see you, sis. So it seemed to me, man, it's just, the Creator. I think it was talking with Dave the other last video, I think it was, and he mentioned about people who just never come to faith and how they just like in the spiritual, they just like evaporate is what came to my mind. But somehow I don't know if they like start over people, who they seem just absolutely destroyed in this life. No faith, no life to live, not able to, just on the bottom, man, the abject bottom. And you wonder, what is Jehovah's plan for these people, man? And you read the OAHSPE, it sounds like some people, they just never come to faith. Where do these people go? And I think talking to Dave, he mentioned like he said something I can't remember. Hopefully, he'll hear the video. He'll let me know, or hopefully he'll come in and hear it. But it's like a separation. There's certainly a separation. The believers, the Creator said, they rise higher and higher, and then those who don't, it's like they go down in the darkness. And they are lost from the face of the earth, man. In other words, it says, and so it came about that the people were admonished by God and his angels, and by Jehovah speaking in the souls of mortals. Oh, I posted the same thing twice. Oh, that was a mistake. All right. This verse says, for they have fallen under the lower light, none can turn them around the other way. Now, I think this is all because I went down to that, the tenderloin, and so it was on my mind just seeing, and most of them were Negro. And I think that's why I have such a soft spot in talking about things like that. And I really don't think it has anything to do with race for me anymore. But to just see a man with the spirit of Jehovah living like an animal, man, living like dogs. And you just say to yourself, how can you keep on like that? But the Creator is seems like he gives a warning that, our reality ain't nothing to play with. It ain't nothing to play with, man. I mean, the consequences of it. And I know that our situation, we can be easily, I mean, if we don't have a focus, or what we believe to get old to us. It ain't no more thrill to it. There ain't no, excitement to it. And I think that's what keeps getting my attention about people who are in that situation is that, you know, that could be you. That could be you, man. This says, Jehovah has said, let this stand as a testimony to coming generations, for they shall look back at these times and see the wars raged without purpose on the part of any king, and that mortals were only instruments in the hands of angels who ruled over them. And it shall be testimony to them of what comes upon peoples who deny my person, for they shall compare peace and rejoicing of my people, while they had no king, but kept my commandments, and those who put me away and tried to make themselves strong in kings and standing armies. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? It's like people who seem to have no structure. Well, I don't know. I mean, we're all scattered. I can't see. I don't know what other faith is. If y'all, most of the time you rejoicing, or if you're not, or if being a faithist is a drag to you. And I mean, whether or not we are people who rejoice or happy, or I mean, that's what he's saying here. He's saying that evidently there must be a time coming when we will be gathered and people will see that we are gathered, and then they will compare the peace and rejoicing of my people, because we won't have the structure of a king or contemporary government over us, but will keep his commandments from those who make themselves strong in kings and standing armies. So it's this creator talking about how the people who flip the system of things on his head, the happiest people who are doing all the rejoicing, no fear of their security, so that they need a police force, a standing army. It don't seem like this verse is true, but it is, that it's going to come to pass. Another one, it says, Baal said, mine is an easy doctrine to understand. Now, this was King David's God. Again, man, I got to thank Omian, man, that video he did. Matter of fact, here it is again. That video. You put in the title, it'll come up. Check it out. Real simple, easy to understand precepts showing you who King David's God was. Let me read this real quick. It said, Baal said, mine is an easy doctrine to understand. All mortals who do not worship Baal shall be put to death. The worshipers of the Trinity, the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, are my enemies. Are the worshipers of the Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, are my enemies. Such mortals shall die. I didn't read that right. Let me read it again. Because they are, I got to chew on this one for a second. Because they are his people. Christianity. Now, why is he saying I posted this for a reason. I got to chew on this one. It said, Baal said, mine is easy doctrine to understand. All mortals who do not worship Baal shall be put to death. The worshipers of the Trinity, the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, are my enemies. Such mortals shall die. Such angels shall go the way of hell. The faithists are worshipers of Jehovah, and also my enemies. Such mortals shall be tortured and sawn in half. Such angels shall be bound in knots in hell. This verse right here, now that I read, it's confusing to me. Now, this must be because Baal was the god of the Muslims. And he's talking about coming against the Christians. That's the only way I can understand this right here. Do y'all see this? Is that what y'all get? That Baal is saying he's coming against the Christians. The worshipers of the Trinity, the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost are my enemies. Now, Baal, again, he was David's God. So what is he saying here? I forget what he's saying here because he's coming against the Christian. He's saying the Christians are his enemies. Now, who was Baal over? His region was the Muslims, I think, wasn't it? Gabriel was the god of the Muslims, though. So what the hell is this saying here? Why is Baal saying this? He's saying that he said, all mortals who do not worship Baal shall be put to death. Okay, I get that. And then he mentions the worshipers of the Trinity, the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Those are Christians. But he says they are his enemies. And then he says, such mortals shall die. Such angels shall go the way of hell. And then he says the fatalists. Now, he doesn't include the fatalists with the Christians, so that's interesting. But he says the fatalists are the worshipers of Jehovih, who are also my enemies. So I think I shared this because he's pointing out a separation between the Christians mentioned right here. Yeah, I think that's why I shared this. He mentions the Christians right here, and then he mentions the fatalists. He says they are also my enemy, showing you a division. And then he says what's going to happen to them. And Baal says, I will have them know that Baal is the highest God of heaven and earth. And there's a video with a brother, he explained the difference between the God of who the God of King David, who he worshiped, who his God was. I mean, this is some explosive information. See, again, man, it go back to show you the darkness that we live in. I mean, I hate to sound redundant, but to me, it's amazing. It's amazing. And since we're in this time of aging, the darkness will get thicker and thicker. It'll get thicker and thicker, man. It's not going to get better. The density is like, it brings destruction. It brings a end. When you couple that with the reality of Pluto going into Aquarius. It's in Capricorn now until November 19th. But it's too many things that point to a different reality. Number one, we're in the Cosmic era. That's a change. That means that signals a change right there. You've got Pluto that will be going back into Aquarius November 19th. And it will stay there for like the next so many years. And then you've got I forget. I wanted to point at something else I had in my mind, just pointing to the change of seasons that we're in right now. The end of the current season of man, the rulership of mankind. Is too many things that's pointing to the end of something and the beginning of something else on a monumental scale. And it seems like it's taking a long time. And that right there, it lets you know that the Creator is bringing about a whole new paradigm, when you consider those things that I mentioned. And then I think I forgot to mention the AG itself, and how it becomes denser and denser. And those who are elevating, they elevate, and those who decline, they decline. Here's another verse. It says, Jehovah has said, a republic cannot follow the highest light. A republic cannot follow the highest light. It follows the majority. You know who it's talking about here? It's talking about America. You remember the Pledge of Allegiance? Y'all remember that? Do y'all remember the Pledge of Allegiance? Here, check it out. Y'all remember, y'all know what I'm driving at? That line in the Pledge of Allegiance. The Pledge of Allegiance. Y'all remember this? I pledge allegiance to the flag and the republic. Y'all remember that? The republic. America is a republic. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and the republic for which it stands. Now, let's look at the OAHSPE. It says, Jehovah had said, a republic cannot follow the highest light. A republic cannot follow the highest light. It follows the majority. And look at this. And a majority is, was, and ever shall be the lesser light. That's where you brethren live. I don't know. It might not mean much to you, but every day I think, I'm still kind of new to OAHSPE, and everything is still kind of new to me. And the one thing that it really never fails to amaze me is the darkness that we're in. When we are reading the OAHSPE, and it is just clear as could be a lot of things, the way the Creator, He speaks with such clarity. A republic cannot follow the highest light. It follows the majority, and the majority is, was, and ever shall be the lesser light. That's where we live. Now, here's something else that says, even the churches that profess peace and temperance will not embrace peace and temperance. Look at this. They will fraternize with liquor traffickers and with colonels and generals of war for the sake of policy. This is where we live. Brethren, you know what this is? It's darkness. It's darkness. This is darkness where we live. Look what the Creator say. He says, even the churches that profess peace and temperance will not embrace peace and temperance. And he's condemning fraternizing with liquor traffickers and with colonels and generals of war for the sake of policy. That's America to the max. That is capitalism. Colonialism to the max. That's America. Primarily, that's America. And the ASAP, now this is interesting. I posted it because it tells you again what happens to us when we're born again. It says, and the ASAP shall take the Essien, which is the young spirit, saying in Jehovah's name, I received this newborn spirit. And then look at this. It says, he shall be my protege according to the commandments of the Lord my God. He shall then take the Essien to the place prepared for it, where he will have nurses and attendants according to his requirements. Okay, that's not what I was thinking it was going to say. I'm ready to get to the verse where it says something interesting. This is not it, though. But here, you brother know we cross over when we are born again. And then our Ashar, it hands us over to the ASAP. And it's kind of like, you get checked into, the hotel where you're gonna be for a while. Yeah, I think I posted this again. I think somehow I repost. Oh no, this is something different. It says, you shall appoint Asaphs whose office it shall be to receive Essien from the Ashar while mortals alive on the earth. The Ashar shall stay with him, guarding him in the name of the Lord and in my name. But when he dies, the Ashar shall deliver the Essien, the young spirit, to the Asaph, saying, oh yeah, here it is. Look, this is pretty interesting. Look, it says, the Ashar shall stay with the mortal, guarding him in the name of the Lord and in my name. But when he dies, the Ashar shall deliver the Essien, the young spirit, to the Asaph, saying, in Jehovah's name, receive this newborn spirit. He was my protege. And then it says, for the good or evil in him. Look, he says, charge it to me. Charge it to me. There's a verse in the Bible where the Apostle Paul, he says, remember the book of Philemon? Philemon was a slave. He ran away. Paul got him, returning to the slave owner, and told the slave owner basically anything that he has done or whatever loss you suffered, charge it to me. And so I have to think that, well, obviously it's like a plagiarism from the, for him to say that, you know what I mean? He says what Paul said in the Bible and then what it says here in the OAHSPE, the same thing, basically. Ashar saying he was my protege for the good or evil in him, charge it to me. What does that mean? Ashar is saying, charge it to me. And the Ashar shall deliver up a record of the mortal life of the Essien, and the record shall be kept within your own kingdoms. How do you like that? See, a record being our record. We each are writing a record. When mortals die and are born in spirit, you shall receive them and enter them in your records as Essians, signifying newborn in heaven. And these Essians you shall provide temporary dwellings where they shall reside, some for a few days, some for a space of 1 year or more. 1 year or more. Through the messengers you shall inform me of their numbers and conditions, and will send ships to bring them to my kingdom. I made the corporeal man belonging to the seen, but the spiritual man I made as one within the unseen and everlasting. And it's like the spiritual man, he's able to consider things that you don't see. He's able to consider eternity. And that's what separates him from the corporal man, who is tied to his eyesight, tied to his senses. All he knows is the physical, the here and the now. It says another verse, it says, with the new heavenly administration under the light of Cosmos, a new order was given to heaven. The heads of the beasts of the second resurrection of old have been removed, although their effects linger, and those who still cling to the beast and are in association are now said to be under the ban of the second grade of bondage. They have some practice of second resurrection. That is, they have some association, but they tarry at the outer gates, being unable to enter. And that's something, it's like he's saying that, he said the beast of the second resurrection has been removed. So I have to understand is talk about Christianity, Mohammedanism, Buddhism, Hinduism, but the effects still linger. We can see that today. And then it says that those who still cling to their beast and are in so it's like churches. They cling to their beast and they're in association, meaning they gather together, they're part of the same fellowship, that sort of thing. They're in association. That's being in association. And they're said to be under the ban of the second grade of bondage, meaning they have some practice of resurrection. That is, they have some association, but they tarry at the outer gates, being unable to enter a place where they want to go. That's me adding words to what it's saying here. All because of being under the beast. You're unable to enter the second resurrection. Without the second resurrection, how can we make the third resurrection? In other words, we can't elevate the beast kingdom. Okay, here's something my sister my sister likes to share about the metaphysical word. Okay, so this was on the covenant. Now, these are Bible verses, but I think she's asking you to translate it, what you read here. All right, about time for the reading of the word. Let's see. Here it says, seek not. Here it is. Here it is. I was mentioning earlier. Look what the Creator says. He says, seek not to spread my gospels and entice followers unto this, or that saith jehovih. Jehovah's Faith should not attempt to establish missionary societies for the purpose of converting people to faithism. How do you like that? The Creator's not begging anybody. It's like he's saying, you have to come to him. You have to seek him. And that's wisdom to me, because you try to convince people, they're not ready to be convinced. It could turn out worse. So here, let me show some verses, and you can stop the video if you want, and then I'm going to go to the reading of the word. And the name of the video is What Jehovah's Word Says Concerning Wars. So if you see something, you want to read it, you can stop the video, check it out. Here's something right here that part of the reading. It says, neither shall any king, queen, or any other ruler in the entire world oppress as a soldier any man who is willing to engage in war. And whoever does not obey this, my judgment shall not rise. My judgment shall not rise above the first resurrection in heaven while war remains on the earth. And then I put in conscription armies. That's the draft. That's what America is a volunteer army right now, but they are historically a conscription where they draft you, especially during times of war. Now, how many governments does this alone condemn? You see where we live. You see how the world is anti-creator. The whole world. The whole world, man. Look at what the Creator says. Judgment is rendered against the judge and the jury who condemn to death any man, and against the lawmakers who make or have left in force law authorizing death as a penalty against any person Jehovah created alive, and against any sheriff or executioner who puts to death unwillingly or knowingly any person Jehovah created alive. Look at that. Knowingly or unknowingly. Willingly or knowingly. I'm sorry. Yeah. Willingly or knowingly, any person Jehovah created alive. You know? Do you think the Creator is serious? That's condemning too many people. And behold, your God has come to put away old things and to give you the kingdoms of Jehovah. They are in his exalted heavens. All right, so it's time for the reading of the word. Let me go ahead and bring up Judgment. It's Book of Judgment, chapter 32. So the title of the video is Jehovah's Word Concerning War. And I think that I'm bringing it out because you brethren, whether you like it or not, we are going to be affected one way or another by the events that are coming on the earth. One way or another. And I think it's a good idea to let anyone who might see this video, to let them know what the Creator feels about it. And then also to let us know, as faithists, let us know what the Creator's mind is on it. Because it's like a foregone conclusion to most of the world. You know, wars, it's a natural thing. You know, it ain't nothing new. We've been doing it for centuries. But do that mean that the Creator done changed his mind about it? Now, I want to pick up where I left off last time. About where okay, so let me see. All right, let me just start up at the beginning because I can't remember where I left off. Okay, now may the Creator bless the reading of his word. This is the chapter 32, Book of Judgment. Subtitle says, God judges against war. It says, God said, now behold, O man, I have declared my first and second resurrections to you, and in like manner is the third resurrection, but still higher. See? The third resurrection, man, is higher than the second. And it seems like it's a place where people, they are that much closer to overcoming the tetracts, the evil vibrations, the negative influences that they come under. The third resurrection, because the Ethereans, they free of it. That's what separate the resurrections. It seems like that's what separated. The freer you are of the tetracts, those vibrations, the flesh, the self, the evil influences, you act upon them, the higher the resurrection, the less impact the tetracts they have on brethren. Ethereans, those are brethren thoroughly free. They're free of that type of influence, the influences, the evil influences. That's who the Ethereans are. Creator says third resurrection is still higher than the second resurrection. He says, and so on are the heavens of Jehovah high. Look at that, higher and higher, until the inhabitants of them become very lords and gods. How do you like that? It says, nevertheless, hear, O man, the wisdom of your God, and be appreciative of the way of resurrection being opened up to you. See, I'm telling you, man, that's why I went down to the Tenderloin in San Francisco over the weekend. You know, I spent the night. I just slept in my van. Well, I didn't sleep. I was up all night because I wanted to learn a lesson. I wanted to learn a lesson, man, about how things should not be. It should not be, man. You know, I wanted to learn a lesson about things, the way things should not be. They should not be, man. And you'll never tell me that those are brethren there that cry out to Jehovah. Now, it's kind of that's kind of sound that that needs some explaining. I mean, I think that there are people who do because their situation is so terrible. But I think the difference is when you don't endure it, where you every day, man, say like you're in that situation. I mean, I think I could testify that when you in a situation and you are your spiritual type of brother and sister, you have to you have to every day, man, you have to seek the creator. Now, okay, I can give you an example. All right. I like to share. When I used to drive, number one, I used to hate to work. I didn't want to work. I did not want to work for the white man anymore. Did not want it. Didn't like it. Even though I had some great jobs, and I had to keep up at it for like 2 years, maybe even more. Where I made it a practice. I would start my run, and then immediately I would just start talking to. At the time, I was talking to God, but I kept it up. And I think that the creator, he knew who I was looking for and he honored it. Man, I kept it up, man. I mean, the job I had, it wasn't that bad of a job anyway, you know, but I just didn't want to work for the white man because I knew he was taking advantage of me. I knew that he wasn't going to deal equitably with me. I didn't want to be in his system. I wanted to serve I wanted to serve God at that time, but the creator, like I said, I believe the creator, he judged me to be sincere and he honored my request. Now it took me like 2.5 years of me praying that. And I never forget the last day, my last day, and I knew it was my last day. And by that time I was working with the heavy construction equipment. And I knew it was I knew it. Now I did go to work for one day after that because the way it was set up, it was, I was in a union and they pretty much shut down during the winter and there might be an odd job. So I worked like one day, doing nothing. But the end of my working life, really, I count it as that one day I'm speaking of now. It was at night. I had my work clothes on, and I knew it was the last. I knew it was it, man. And I just savored the moment. I stayed by my truck for like a couple of hours after everybody had left, and the Creator, He answered. He answered. You know, He answered my prayer. So now I became homeless after that, but most of the time I didn't even know I was. I got busy right away, man, making them flyers when I was a Hebrew Israelite and passing them out around the Bay Area. Now, I'm just sharing all this to let you know here in the verse, it says, be appreciative of the resurrection being opened up to you, meaning realize that there is there's really to appreciate the spirit that's within you and the creator to be able to help you. Now, the people that I saw in the Tenderloin, I believe that each and every one, man, if they approach the creator the same way, if they are somehow able to open their mind, open their heart, and to ask the creator to deliver them, you can't tell me that it won't be done. I'll never let nobody tell me that. It just take time, man. It take time. And the best thing to test your heart is time. time, man. If you really want something, time is going to tell the tale. I'm telling you, man, if there's one thing I've learned, that is it. That is it. Being appreciative. Now, here it says of the resurrection being opened up to you. But even that, you could say the opportunity or, the reality of the Creator to help you, to step in for you. To me, that's the way of resurrection. You can make that point that's a way of resurrection. To get out of a situation like that those people in the Tenderloin are in, that can only be a resurrection, and it is open. If you can endure, man, you'll never tell me that the Creator won't answer you. I won't buy it. Verse 3 says, "Now I declare to you, there are angels lower than the first resurrection, being incapacitated by various causes from knowing who they are, where they came from, or where they are going, incapacitated. Indeed, many of them do not know words of speech, nor signs, nor tokens, but are destitute of knowledge, as young babies." Here is talking about angels that are lower than the first resurrection. Angels lower than the first resurrection, being incapacitated. Incapacitated by various causes from knowing who they are, where they came from, or where they are going. Now, I can't fully decipher this. I can't fully translate it. I have to speculate too much on it. Maybe you can make something out of it. Oh yeah, and this is where we pretty much stopped last week. We got off on abortion, and it just took off in a direction that I didn't want it to take off in, and there's also more to the story that between me and the sister that came on, that to be honest, I shared, I ain't going to mention it, but this type of talk, it has always bothered me, even though it's in the OAHSPE. This type of talk about this part of our reality, it's just like nails on a blackboard to me. Talking about abortion and the processes of it and the things that happen and the dirty details, and I've never liked to talk about things like that. I think it's just like nails on a blackboard to me. I just can't deal with it. Talking about that type of stuff, the nastiness of it, And so here in verse 5, it says, "Many of these live by fetal." So we start talking about the young, the children that are young and what living by fetal was. It says, "So that you may know what fetal is, behold, Jehovah is giving you testimony in mortality, such as when a young child sleeps with a very old person, that child is devoured of his substance. In such a case, the old person is fetal on the young child. The old person is said to live by fetal." So somehow the older person can take the substance from a young spirit. I think that there are elite in this world who know stuff like that. And so they get into blood drinking and, what's that one word that pherotomone or something where they, there's a word where it's known for, like, you brother know what it is. It's something, some word where they, a spiritome or something like that supposedly comes from young child. I guess that's like the hip thing with the elite powers that be taking this stuff or constantly looking for the fountain of youth. I won't even try to explain it. It says, Now hear, O man, the judgment of your God. Half the people born into the world, including stillbirths and abortions, die in infancy. Therefore, there are a billion angel infants fetal on the earth every 30 years. These angels never obtain objective knowledge of the corporal earth, but are compelled to learn earthly things subjectively through mortals upon whom they are fetal. So Dave, he came on last week, and he was mentioning about Yatante. It's a place where young spirits who die, like abortion, they go to learn about corporeal things. The brother said he even goes there from time to time as a teacher or a student, I believe he said. You know, he has a gift to leave his body and to go to this place. So that's the Creator's plan for when you brethren hear about children who are aborted, then they go to a place where they do learn about corporal things. They learn objective knowledge about corporal things from mortals upon whom they are fetal. That's heavy. It says, judgment is rendered against all nations and peoples on earth for this great darkness, these early deaths. See, that's serious. You know what that's talking about? You know, abortion is one of these things. Early deaths. Judgment is rendered against all nations and peoples on the earth for this great darkness, these early deaths. It says that because these angels are thus bound to mortals and cannot go away from them until such time as mortals die, mortals are responsible and bound to train them by examples of righteousness and good works to rise up. Now, other than these angels, there are those who are slain in war, whose minds are in chaos, who, dying in the heat of passion, fear, and anger, become wild and bound on battlefields, or perhaps stroll away into deserted houses and castles and are lost, bewildered, and unapproachable. See where we live? This is our reality, man. Our reality. And that's why, you know, there are people who do unexplainable things, or they may, you know, whatever you can imagine. I mean, people who are out of their mind, people who are beside themselves, people who are mentally insane. Under the influences, lost, bewildered, and unapproachable. It says of these, there are hundreds of millions, and they are in all countries and among all peoples in the world, helping us to know why there are people who are the way they are, people who seem to be disturbed, they have mental problems, and it's just like we've heard, they're under spirits, under influences. They are distracted and tormented with their own fears and bewilderment. Judgment is rendered against all nations and peoples in the world who engage in war, thus bringing these afflictions upon the angels of heaven. Judgment is rendered against every nation and all people in the world who carry on war or who are accessory to war, which any man created alive by jehovih is slain in defense of any king or other ruler, or in defense of any country or government in the world. Pretty self-explanatory. And that's always been our situation. You see the seriousness of the situation that we're in, especially now, where it seems to have picked up with the situation with Russia and Ukraine and Israel and Lebanon and Hezbollah, Gaza and Yemen, the situation that's going on now. It's like death ain't nothing. And the Creator says, that's my life that I created. He said judgment is rendered against, man, you know, who carry on war, who are accessory to war. And we're in so deep, we can't even, I mean, everywhere you turn and you listen, you hear accounts of the situation in the world, and people, they start talking, they're experts on weapons and what this gun will do, what this missile will do, what this bomb will do. They know the serial number, they know when it was created, they know how it's created, they know the flight trajectory, they know the systems that are most likely to be able to shoot this or that down. And we're experts, man, especially, man, oh my goodness, man. America, we are experts in war, man. You know, we are experts in war, man. We under a great judgment. We under a serious, and so it don't seem like it today. It seems like, tomorrow gonna come, day after that, But we know that at some point, and it'll most likely be when we least expect it, that realization is going to fall on the earth. Amen. We out of time. We are out of time, man. And the people who have prepared themselves, just like the virgins and the bridegrooms, the door is shut. I can't open it. I'm in bed with my children. Go to those who buy and sell. It seems like that's what the Creator is. He's preparing the world to fulfill that scripture. It seemed like He's preparing the world to fulfill that scripture. Caught off guard, man. You caught off guard. Now, I'm going to share something real quick, man. Just, Now, September 1st of this year, Pluto, it left Aquarius and it went back into Capricorn, okay? It left Aquarius and it came back into Capricorn. It's going to stay there until November 19th. Now, I'm mentioning that because when Pluto leaves Capricorn, November 19th, it's going to leave it for good. It's going to leave it for good for like another 16 or 20 years. And during that time, if I'm not mistaken, our minds are going to change. Our minds are going to change. I think that there will be great advancements in technology, but there will be also great advancements in technological evil. You probably know, I was looking at a video the other day. I saw a demonstration, and it was like these kids were playing around. It was like two kids playing around, man. And they embellished this technology that's already out there. They embellished this technology that's already out there. And they got it to a point where they could just look at your face and get all your information. Smart glasses. It looked like it was two teenagers. They made a video, right? Now, I think they were making it as like a warning. I mean, but what you going to warn against? There ain't nothing you could do about it. But it was good for them to get the information out there. And they made a video. And they proved it. As much as I think they could prove a video. You were never really, I mean, if someone wanted to deceive you, they can do it. But looking at it, I really had to think they had no reason to try to deceive anyone. I think it was legitimate. They showed you how they came up. They were able to rig the technology of the it's not smartphone, but smart glasses, smart eyeglasses. They were able to rig the technology to where they could get all your information. As a matter of fact, yeah, facial recognition. That's really already out there. So now that I think about it, I'm not saying too much that's new. Facial recognition. And these two kids had rigged the technology so that it worked on smart glasses, those eyeglasses you wear. They got something called, let me see if I can show you on the screen. They got this stuff out there now. You can get all your information just by looking you in the face. Smart eyeglasses. Look at this stuff, man. This is on the market. You know, somebody look you in the face, they can get your information, they get your phone number, they get your address, they get your work history, they get your all the dirty details that are on the internet about you. Smart glasses. This is the technology. What can smart glasses do? Display a picture as if a screen in front of your eyes. Can capture photos and videos and even live stream. Now, again, I saw that video where those kids, they had basically jury rigged it to where they could get your information. Just look at you, just by looking at you. See the technology, We see Jamia says that's probably why they have face recognition for phones now. I didn't know that. I mean, I can receive it, but that this ain't the will of the creator. This type of technology. And we coming into when Pluto, when it enters back into Aquarius on November 19th, Yeah, me neither, Jamia. I mean, we are looking at great technological advancements. Now, I even heard the Chinese have a cure for diabetes. Y'all know anybody with diabetes? See, there is some hope as well. It's not all gloom and doom. Pluto going into Aquarius, it just depends whose spirit this technology falls under. Does it fall in the wicked hands or righteous hands? Chinese invent cure for diabetes. Chinese cure type 2. How do you like that? See, do you brother have any loved ones? See, the coming technological age, it can be a blessing. It's a time of great light and great darkness, in the sense that it's going to, with the rise of aging, is also the increase. If I'm not mistaken, grapes and certain herbs cured. I didn't hear that. So it's like the future. I mean, with Pluto going into Aquarius, it represents a great technological advancement. But I think the AG also represents a time of a rise in a certain type of darkness too. I mean, on this side, there's a great rise in war and chaos and destruction. We see that right now. And I think that might have something to do with Pluto being in Capricorn, the increase so far as the increase that, I don't know, it remains to be seen what the effects of Pluto making this last run in Capricorn. It still remains to be seen. A lot of times, the creator, he bring about things that you don't know what the effect was until after it's said and done. But here it says Chinese scientists, they cured type 2 using islet cell transplantation at Shenzhen Hospital. So blood to islet cell transformation. Okay, so they did it in a 59-year-old. Okay, so that's good news for a lot of people. Now, when you're talking about Pluto going into Aquarius, see, Capricorn represent power and authority and big companies and big business and companies that are that are affected by new technology. And see, let me put it like this. If this technology here, if it becomes mainstream, do you think the American Medical Association is going to like it? Do you think that any multinational corporation is going to like competition? If you look at Africa and the discovery of free energy done by some entrepreneurs, if you think that's going to take hold to where they could build up their infrastructure and place protection around their resources, do you think that the nations would go for that? You see, with what the Creator could be doing, is that's what Pluto going into Aquarius is. It's like the Creator, he gives man a newfound wisdom to deal with the afflictions of his world. And somehow, from what I can see, the cosmic era, men are going to look at the Creator. And they're going to, just like it says in the voice of man in the OAHSPE Bible, he is going to beg the Creator to stop war. See, that sounds like what the Creator do. He make you see you got the need. You got the need. You the one that got the need. Now, you can, there are people in the world like that, they won't say nothing, they won't do nothing until you ask them. They know you got the need, but they don't say nothing, they don't do nothing until you ask them. It seems like Creator the same way. It's like, I've been here all this time. I told you that there was a spiritual element to your reality. You didn't want to receive it. You wanted to do it your own way. Wanted to govern yourself. So I let you go. You went about immediately trying to afflict your brother, take dominion over him, get all the resources, take power over all the resources of the earth, which I gave freely for the blessing of men, and you wanted to control all of that to where you would be able to enslave your brother. And how did it work out? Constant wars, fightings, conquest, endless conquest, man, So I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to just do it this way. Hey, Nazarene, brother. Good to see you, bro. Thanks for coming through, man. So it's like the Creator say, all right, you don't want to do right. You don't want to do right. I'm going to go ahead and step in. I'm going to give the technology to where you cannot prevent it. You cannot, something like this, all the people in the world who got diabetes, who desperately need that, if for nothing, quality of life, I got it. But I have to admit, I'm not really too concerned for myself. I mean, I know my body is definitely telling me, it's definitely, when you get this demon, it definitely send your body messages like, you ain't getting no younger, son. You definitely will feel it one way or another. But for me, I'm like a lot of fakeists. I left the world a long time ago. I mean, I'm here in the body, you know, but I ain't one of those ones. Fakeists, we ain't those type of people that got to sit around all vexed and frustrated and all afraid and unsure and you know because of the reality of the what's a good word for the approaching time of the end. As faithists, we don't really have to. I mean, you're always going to be afraid of the unknown, but it's a different thing with faithists. If anything, they look forward to being born again. No, Nazarene, you can't tell me anything, bro. I'm not trying to be harsh. You can't tell me. I've had this thing for years, and I've had 1,000 people tell me what to do, and don't nothing work. And I appreciate people, they just want to bless you. I can dig it. But I've been doing videos for a long time, man. I've been afflicted for as long as I've been doing videos, and I give thanks, man. I give thanks to the Creator, because I'm pretty sure I would have went down the wrong road. And sometimes your affliction, it will keep you humble. Hey, Dave, good to see you, bro. Good to see you, bro. You're one of them brothers, man. Anytime you want to take the mic, feel free. I learned a lesson last week about how I should conduct this channel, And let me just say this, you brethren who I know, feel free to, intervene. And, if I know you, feel free to, to come on and interrupt the lesson or anything, if I know you. But no, Brother Nazarene, I appreciate you, man. But I've heard a billion things. I've tried a billion things. And I've prayed a billion times. And my mind is that the Creator is saying to me, you just redeem the time. That's all I want you to, that's the voice I keep hearing. You just redeem the time and be glad. And I am. Just redeem the time, man. You just redeem it so that you have something to look for. I know it's the same for me as it is with you, brethren. If you build in a mountain, just be busy building a mountain, man. Just build your little mountain, You, brethren, just build your mountain. Not try to be somebody who lives forever. Just build that little mountain, because each of you, brethren, you're determining yourself. You are determining who you're going to be. So just keep after the Creator, Don't be vexed at things you can't control, and just feel good that you are redeeming the time, man, because that is priceless, man. Let me see what Dave's got here. He says, nope, Baal and Asheroth were originally under Osiris the False. Those two were the only ones who escaped, the fall of Ahijah when the Trinity came on the scene. Okay, so, this is funny. That was, it sounded like you addressing something from a long time ago. The computer might not let some of these things on till like way later. Some of these chats, that's a trip. I wasn't talking about that. I talked about that a while ago. And it's like, maybe it's just now only letting your chat come through. Baal and Asheroth were originally under Osiris the False. They were the only two ones to escape the fall of Ahijah when the Trinity came on the scene. Okay, so Baal, when he said that those who worship the Trinity then he came after the time that it was already on the scene. Okay. They had escaped from Osiris. Now, who was Osiris over? Dave, if you still here, who was Osiris over? Who did he? Let me see. Osiris the False. Who was he over? So here, yeah, the Chinese, man. You know, the Chinese. How do you like that? And that's going to that will interfere with big business because they need you to stay sick. That's why Pluto going into Capricorn for one last hurrah. I don't know how it's going to play out, but I know that something's going to play out. And it'll probably have something to do economically. I know it probably has something to do that's going to affect big business. That port strike, I thought that was going to be some type of signal or blow because they struck because one of the conditions they didn't want was automation. You know, they want to protect their jobs, and automation will lay them all off. You know, see, Dave said, you said he built up Egypt. Osiris built up Egypt. So that's the Muslims in, right? Isn't that Mohammedanism? So Baal was under Mohammedanism. Thotma. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. Thotma, he was up under, I think it was Luamon, right? And then he rebelled. But Baal, he was under Luamon too, wasn't he? And he got a hold of the Muslims, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so let me go back real quick then. And man, so let's hope that, you know, when Pluto goes back into Aquarius, that the Creator, he'll allow the world to explode. Hopefully the Creator, he'll allow the world to explode with the increase in things that allow people to Anahaja, Dave. Baal was under Anahaja. Yeah. Okay. I get them mixed up, man. Let me see. It won't let me share my screen. It's trying to give me problems. It don't let me share my screen. It won't let me share my screen. Well, at least it's messing with me at the end of the video and not the beginning. Okay, there you go. All right, so let me conclude the reading here of Book of Judgment, chapter 32. Let's see. Do I have the right chapter here? Yeah. So it says, verse 10, of these there are hundreds of millions and there are and these afflicted souls coming out of war, all bent out of shape, coming out of war. I'm telling you, brethren, well, I'll hold it to the end of the video. It says they are distracted, tormented, and with their own fears and bewilderment. Judgment is rendered against all nations and peoples in the world who engage in war, thus bringing these afflictions upon the angels of heaven. Judgment is rendered against every nation, all people in the world who carry on war, who are accessory to war, in which any man created alive by jehovih is slain in defense of any king, other ruler, or in defense of any country or government in the world, and whether any war is offensive or defensive, my judgment is against his aiders and abettors and against the kings and queens or other rulers who are parties to war willingly, knowingly, and otherwise, and I judge him guilty. Also, who is general, commodore, captain, sergeant, or private that engages in war or takes part in it, aiding, abetting, or otherwise, in which any man created alive by jehovih is slain or caused to suffer death, and yet aside from angels who are in chaos, there are hundreds of millions who are in declension instead of resurrection. Look at that. Hundreds of millions who are, they're in declension. Instead of resurrection, they're in declension, brethren. Oh, That's a blow. Such angels are those who in mortal life were whipped and tortured in prisons, or perhaps were hanged or otherwise put to death. These angels take delight in evil instead of good. Sometimes they go about singly, and sometimes in gangs of hundreds and even thousands. Jehovah, please help us. In the past, the false gods used such angels to fulfill curses on mortals and to carry poison in the air and inoculate mortals with foul diseases. Can you say the needle, the jab? Behold, in this day, the OAHSPE says that in our day, where we live, where we are right now, do you know the OAHSPE said that only the Creator was only going to allow rogues to come into office? He said he was only going to allow, in our day, only rogues. You know what? Digress with me for a second. What is the definition of a rogue? That's a dishonest, unprincipled person. Do you know the OAHSPE said? I can't take the time to find it right now. You probably know, you've seen it before. A dishonest or unprincipled person, they're called a rogue. You know who he's talking about? You know who he's talking about, right? I don't have to say it, do I? Two people who he is. So that applies to two people in our reality. He's talking to at least two people in our reality. He's talking to two people, at least two people in our reality. Somebody put in the chat who I'm talking about. And you know what the Creator calls them? He calls them rogues. That's a dishonest or unprincipled person. They were going to be the only ones to take office in our day and age. Somebody put in the chat, who am I talking about? I'm talking about one of two people. I know you brothers know who I'm talking about. The Creator calls them rogues. He calls them rogues, man. I'm going to go ahead with the reading and see if anybody knows what I'm talking about. You brother know. Let me finish the reading. I can come back to it at the end of the reading. Let's see. Okay, so. Behold, in this day my angels have shown you that they can bring flowers and ponderous bodies similar to false gods with their trained warrior angels who delighted in evil, could cast mortals in death by poison and suffocation. Judgment is rendered against all nations and peoples who use prisons as places for whipping and torturing prisoners, and against all nations and peoples who put to death by hanging, shooting, or in any way whatsoever any prisoner or any person whom Jehovah created alive. Think there. Yep, Dave. I knew you'd get it, Dave. Yep. Look at that, verse 20. Judgment is there. This is serious business right here, man. When I read this, the Creator, man, the Creator. He says, judgment is rendered against the judge and the jury. See that? I just got a summons for jury duty. I got out of it, though. I just got a summons for jury duty. It says, judgment is rendered against the judge and the jury who condemn to death any man, and against the lawmakers who make or have left in force a law authorizing death as a penalty against any person Jehovah created alive, and against any sheriff or executioner who puts to death willingly or knowingly any person Jehovah created alive. How do you like that? How do you like that? How do you like that? Go ahead and try to tell America that. Go ahead. You know what they'll say? Well, if he hadn't killed those 30 people, they'll justify it. Creator, he ain't justifying nothing. And this is the bondage I put upon all those who do not obey my judgments and conform to them. They shall not rise above the first resurrection in heaven. While war remains upon the earth, even though their bondage is 100 years or 1,000 years, yet this my judgment against them shall not be put aside. Neither shall any king, queen, or other ruler in the entire world impress a soldier, meaning draft him, the conscription army. A soldier, any man who is unwilling to engage in war, and whoever does not obey this, my judgment shall not rise. Who does not obey this, my judgment shall not rise above the first resurrection in heaven while war remains on the earth. Nor will I any more consider the prayers of any king or queen or any other ruler or any nation or people anywhere in the world who engaged in war, offensive or defensive, who aid or abet war in any way whatsoever. Nor will I any more consider the prayers of any king, queen, or any other ruler or any nation or people anywhere in the world who engaged in war, offensive or defensive, who aid or abet in war in any way whatsoever. But I will abandon all such people, and my Lord shall abandon them, and my holy angels shall abandon them, and they shall be left as a prey to their own harvest of evil spirits. See that? The people who are allowed to run amok, shooting and firing at everybody and causing all kinds of chaos. And the people who have anything to do with war, you'll be joined to these evil spirits who you allowed to run free. And to all manner of drudges. This is a terrible thing. And they shall be afflicted with assassinations, intrigues, and despoilers, with anarchy, riots, and destruction, for they shall be made to understand that whomever jehovih created alive is sacred upon the earth, and that whosoever does not heed these my judgment sins against the Almighty. Behold, it is not sufficient apology for them to say, oh, an evil king will come upon my country and possess it. Therefore, I got to get him first. I got to get my army to go against him first. See, an evil king will come upon my country and possess it. No, I have to get my army ready, and I have to get my army built up with all the weapons it can get. Because, see, an evil king will come upon my country and possess it. So that's why I had to go to Congress and get an authorization for war and to build a nuclear bomb so I could drop it on him. Because, see, an evil king he's going to come against my country and possess it. I say to you, old man, all countries are jehovih. Be his servant for peace and righteousness, having faith in him. Behold, your God has come to put away all things and to give you the kingdoms of jehovih as they are in his exalted heavens. Heed the judgments of your God, and you cannot stop the hand of the Almighty. And that will conclude the reading of this word. And I'm thanking you, Creator, for letting me give this word, because it was on my heart to do it. And I feel like you taught me a lesson about how to be about your business and to try to be disciplined in the running of this channel here. And I give thanks for that correction. And brethren, I open it up now. Let me put the link in the room in case anybody wants to come on and share a word. But you see, I'm telling you, man, Dave says that right there, what you read, is responsible for the, you said it. Man, there's the link. Man, I'm telling you. See, I'm telling you, brother, you said it. You said it, brother. See, maybe it ain't no thing to nobody else, but the vibration that the Creator put me under is pretty soon we ain't going to be in our situations. We ain't going to be in our situations, man. We ain't going to be in other words, we're going to be changed. Our minds are going to change. We see in the process, right? And I ain't trying to fearmonger, man. I am not trying to do that. I'm saying the Creator is moving. people don't see it, and people don't care. You know, I see a storm in the form of, it seemed like he even trying to show us to prepare us for, I mean, you know, now they talking about this Hurricane Milton. Y'all heard about that? Is anybody in the chat affected by that thing? You know, what is going on here? You know, there's a lot going on, man, you know, where, I mean, the Creator, he's moving, you know, and it seems like the only people who can move are faithists, meaning you can see what's on the horizon and prepare your mind for it. When we living in a situation, we actually living amongst a great darkness. You know what I'm saying? I mean, to me, it's just the most amazing thing. Now, you know what I want to do real quick? I want to find that verse where the Creator, look what he said about our day and age. Let me see if I can find it real quick. He said, and I know you, brother, have read it. You read it. Let me find it anyway. He said that people who take office in our day, now he doesn't say in our day, but he talking about our period of time. Look what he called them. It's like when I read it, I was like, man, this is amazing. He actually even used this word. See, look at there. Y'all see this? Look at that. You see? Look at this. Do that affect y'all? But I say to you, this nation. He said that America, he talking about this nation, America. Why do I say that? America is the only country that's never had a major war come to its shore. Here, see, look, watch. Let me show you. Okay, let me highlight this first. We're going to talk about this a little bit, but then let me show you this. Now, hold on a second. I hope I don't click off. Okay, now let me go to the internet, okay? What is the only continent not to have had a major war? Okay, they got me. Antarctica. What about the United States? Let me word it differently. The United States is the only continent not to have had a foreign war on its shores. Okay, they said it's incorrect. Oh, well, that's what I meant. A country, not a continent. All right. Okay, so you got me. The United States is not a continent, but a country, and has experienced numerous foreign wars on its shores throughout history, including revolutionary. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Let's see if this will help me out. The United States has had plenty of war in its own territory since 1865, not as much as, say, Russia or Germany, but of course, still quite a lot. Now, what is it that I'm referring to? Okay, well, maybe I was subjected to some fake news or whatever. But I heard a statement that it was the only country that has not, can I say attacked? It was something major, okay? Invaded, thanks, Mahal, you put invaded on their land. Okay, thanks. But at least y'all get the drift, okay? Y'all get my drift, right? What is the only country never to have been invaded? Canada. Hey, Bronze Yogi. Hey, Bronze. What is the only country? No, I can't ask that. Oh, well, forget it then. Okay, we were looking at this verse right here in the OAHSPE. We're looking at this. And I'm proposing that when it talks about this nation, well, let me share the chat again, that it's referring to America. Okay. When it says in verse 20, but I say to you, this nation, this government, and this people shall not be attacked in the places that you build. Okay, now it says attack in the places that you build. Now, I'm saying this nation is America. So that would have to mean it's not been attacked. But I can't say that. It sounds like I can't say that. But then everywhere has been attacked. And, well, wait a minute, Canada, well, Antarctica hasn't been attacked. But he says, well, now let's go up and see who he's talking about. Let's get the context, and that'll help us. The prince of devils came upon the Uzians, saying, do not think that, see, Christianity. And Christianity is America is a Christian nation. So that's who he's talking about down here, this nation. We got our answer. We got our answer. Now, I wonder if that was before OAHSPE. I don't know. So we got our answer. It says, the prince of devils came upon the Uzians, saying, do not think that I came to send peace on earth, but a sword. And we all know Jesus Christ said this, so we know who he got it from. It says, do not think that I come to send peace on the earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. I come to set a man at variance against his father and daughter against her mother. And also, that's interesting because that is a British colonial mode. You know, that was one of their game plans, divide and conquer. That's what this is talking about, divide and conquer. Division, at least. I came to set a man at variance against his father and a daughter against her mother. Now, therefore, when my angels went on behalf of my kingdom, behold, the prince of devils invaded the places of the ungodly. And those who received my angels practice righteousness were fallen upon by the emissary of the prince of devils and unmercifully treated with curses and tortures. But I called the righteous away from there and built my kingdom for me. And I said to the Uzians, let this be a testimony to you of the power of the Almighty. It says, you go about building ships of war. See, here we go. That's America. Harbors for defense with torpedoes and all types of wicked inventions. But I say to you, now, I wonder if this nation could be faithless. Okay, probably not. But I say to you, this nation, this government, and this people should not be attacked in the places you build. So I have to think he's talking about America. He's saying that you're going to be destroyed from within. Verse 21, you're going to be destroyed from within. Why? Because he says, I will draw away the righteous, and none but rogues, there is that word, shall accept your great offices. Look what he called them. Look at the Creator, man. Look what he called the people who are accepting our great offices. The 2024 United States House of Representatives. the 2024 United States House of Representatives. The creator, he calling these people rogues. Your great offices. He calling these people rogues. Look at them. This is the House of Representatives. You see that? Look at those people, man. They got suits and ties. And the creator called them names. He said, none but rogues, man. He called these people rogues. Look at these people. Look at them. Group photo of the United States Senate. Look at this. Look. Look at these people, man. And the creator, he called them rogues. You know? He said, none but rogues shall inherit your great offices. Rogues. Rogues, man. He called them rogues. Who is running for the 2025 presidential office? Rogues. They're rogues, man. That's what the creator called them. Now, that's the creator talking, man. You know? See where you live. That's where you live. That's where you brethren live, man. You know? Now, I think he's talking about America. I think he's talking about America, man. For I will draw away the righteous, and none but rogues shall accept your great offices. And this trend shall continue to grow upon you in the way of evil, declining in virtue more and more every year. That's aging. That's density. That's increasing darkness. You see? You see there? Huh? Look therefore at your grade. Judge the words of the Almighty. All right, it's wow, I went way past. Okay, so anyway, you can read it, you know. See? Wow, man, that's the creator. You see? He telling you, brethren, where you live. So when you see these TV or, you know, wherever, you see people running for office in America, I think he's talking about America. He talked about building ships, you know, forts for defenses, you know. You see, I mean, I don't want to sound harsh, man, but what do you think? What do you, brethren, think? You know? See where we live. Always learn when it's too late. All right, so I'm gonna leave it open for about a minute or so. I'm way past time, so see if anybody wants to come on and have a final word. If not, then I will close video. And so, brethren, until November 19th, if I may digress again for, so far as what to look forward to, we're in the middle of a period of time. We don't know what's going to come to pass. So far as Pluto, it went back into Capricorn September 1st. It's going to leave November 19th. And that could signal an explosion in both good and evil. At least that's what I tend to think. It could signal an explosion in both good and evil, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know how long the AG is going to last. I think that when increased light is increased darkness, and that's what AJI points to. So, watch and pray, and build your foundation. Redeem the time, man. I think that's excellent advice. Redeeming the time. Every single day, redeem it. All right, no takers. So that's the best I can do for today, brother. Shoot, man. Thanks for joining me. And, also, if you, brother, have like any subject matter suggestions, I'm open. Subject matter for things to talk about, then I'll do my best to, to talk about it. So hopefully, I don't know when the next new moon is. I think, let me see. Let's see when the next new moon is. Let me see. Dave says, you want me to do that now? Or do you want me to do that now, Dave, or the next time? I was going to look and see when the next new moon is. Or are you saying read it now, Dave, or read 39, 25, 28? Oh, okay. Read just before chapter 26. Oh, read it now. He said, right here. He said, and in the proportion that you go down in corruption. Wow. Yep. Look at that. Will you look at that? See, brother, are you brothers seeing this? And in proportion that you go down in corruption, you see that? So shall the faithless go away into my kingdoms. Wow, see there? You see that? What do you think that means? Are we going to leave here? Are we going to go somewhere else? Is it going to, or does he mean a change in our reality? Does anybody have any clue what this means right here exactly? Or when you speculate, does anybody want to tackle this? And I think that is saying, and in proportion that you go down in corruption, and I'm going to use America. The faster you go down, the faster the faith is. The light, in other words, the light, the more density on the earth, because the faith is going to leave. We're going to leave, you ain't going to find us. You didn't care when we was here. So the more the corruption, the faster my faith is get the hell out of there. Do you brethren agree with that? Anybody agree? You want to? Anybody want to come on and talk about what you think about this subject for tomorrow? Maybe. Okay. What do I call it? What would I call it? And what would I talk about? The corruption, the present corruption. How would I tackle that? How do I how can I if you want to come on and help me talk about it, Dave, I'll do it. But I don't know how to make a full video out of that. The proportion that you go down in corruption, so shall the faithless go away into my kingdoms. I'm willing to give it a shot. Oh, the fate of the faithless. Okay. The fate of the faithless. Okay, I'll see if I can make a video out of it. And then if you want to jump in and help me, just be ready to, I may not be able to, I don't want to be too redundant, but I'll certainly give it a shot. So tomorrow's video is going to be called The Fate of the Faithless. The Fate of the Faithless. I like that title. All right, so shoot, man, that's the video for tomorrow. Guess I can close it now. It's the best I can do for today. Brethren, thank you for joining me. I want to thank the Creator for this opportunity, for the word, the seriousness of the word, the soberness of this word, telling us that these people that we see around us, that we're looking at in our reality, we see their face every day on TV. We see that we are in a dark place. We are in a dark, dark place, in corporality. And I pray that we don't take what we have within us, the Spirit, for granted, Creator, I pray that we don't take for granted. We don't fall asleep. We don't get bored. Creator, I hope that we redeem the time. I hope that we don't take for granted that we're faithless. We help us with that, Creator, because, for those of us who need visions, for those of us who need angel visitations, for those of us who need encouragement, for those of us who need to be ministered to, then will you help me somehow to be a way to make that happen, whether through prayer or through whatever you reveal to me, but whatever videos you can give me to share, that you'll anoint me to be able to share them. So, Creator, thank you, and thank you for this opportunity to be a light while I'm in this reality. All right, that's it. That's the best I can do. Thanks, brethren. Name of the video tomorrow is going to be The Fate of the Faithless. So, again, thanks for joining me. And, brethren, until I see you again on video, peace, wisdom, knowledge, blessing be upon you. Shalom, shalom.